I'm Tracy, the mom.
And I'm Audrey, the daughter, and welcome back to another episode of Mommy and Me Critique.
Shooting on location in the woods. What could our favorite movie to watch at Halloween time be?
Watch Her in the Woods.
Watch Her in the Woods. It's like creepy sounding right now. There's birds, there's
crows in the background.
settling. It's really creepy. Okay. So, Watch Her in the Woods. It is from a book, and Disney made this very creepy, very atmospheric movie in the early 80s. It's one of my all-time favorites. Still scares the bejesus out of me. What about for you? How scary is it for you?
It's not really scary for me. Like sometimes there's like a bit of like jump scares, and where it just startles you.
Yeah, there's the music plays a big part. Yeah, no, I'm terrified of it. I still scream. But it is okay though. Last night was the first time that I watched it without covering my eyes, but I did have to plug my ears at one point, but that's okay. But yeah, the music plays a big part of it, where it really drives the atmosphere and it really adds to the suspense and the scariness, and so it's good. A lot of violins, a lot of trumpets.
Yeah.
And so, but why don't you tell them what the movie's about?
Okay, Watch in the Woods. It's a feeling. Well, there's this girl and she has a little sister, and she moves into this house, and she looks like this girl that 30 years ago disappeared.
Who is the daughter of the owner of the house.
Yeah.
And she kind of like tries to find like the mystery of
Yeah.
what led to her disappearance. And while she's living in the house, she sees things.
Yeah.
She feels things. She senses things.
Cuts her finger on her window.
Yeah, cause like there's like this perfect triangle breaks on her window while she's touching it to look outside, because she's seeing these blue sparks off in the woods. This is really creepy right now.
Some woodpeckers.
I'm like worried that like someone's gonna fall on us.
That noise gonna come out of the
but
sky.
There's like this perfect triangle that like her finger's touching it, and she cuts her finger. And there's another time when like she's looking at a mirror and she doesn't see her reflection at all. And that was really scary, huh? And then the same triangle breaks into the mirror, and then in just the triangle you can see like this very faint, kind of faded image of this girl with long blonde hair with a blindfold over her eyes. And that just kind of what starts off. Yeah, like she's screaming, "Help me!" but you can't hear it, and it's creepy. I'm getting goosebumps right now. But it's good. Boo! That's right.
Okay.
That's what this movie is all full of. A bunch of silly jump scares like that. But however, for me, this movie really was creepy and hit home for me, so to speak. Is the girl that's missing? Her name is Karen. And when I was a little girl and watching this with my family, there's this especially very creepy part where the little girl of the movie, she goes into a trance-like state while she's holding onto a dog, and she's trying to figure out the name of what she's going to name the dog. She's looking at a dirty window. She starts to write this word, but it's backwards. And the older sister comes over and kind of gets her out of her trance, and she looks at it and she goes, "What is that name?" And she goes, "It's Narek. That's what the dog's name's gonna be, is Narek." And she's like, I've never heard of that name before. But from outside, this lady is talking to someone, and she sees it, and it does like this zoom in to her face, and it's so scary. That's when I have to always plug my ears, because the music is like, I'm still getting goosebumps. And it's the name Karen, and I'm watching that with my family. And I think Narek's a cool name. I say something about it. And my mom goes, "Oh, my name is Karen." Instantly made that movie the most terrifying thing I've ever seen. As a little child, to have a connection to the movie like that, it made it a little bit creepy. But certainly, that's like at least my personal connection to it. Why don't you talk about your personal connection to the Blue Circle?
In our neighborhood, one of our neighbors has a clock with a blue light around it, and they always have their curtains closed, so all we can ever see is the blue ring.
There's a creepy part of the movie, right? Yeah. When she falls in. Yeah.
Yeah.
We should talk about that part.
Yeah.
She chases after her sister because her sister runs off after the dog, and they end up at this little pond area in the middle of the woods, and she sees like this flash of light go down to the water in front of her, and she's like, "Did you see that?" And her sister's like, "No, I didn't." And she's looking into the water, and all of a sudden this blue ring appears in the water. Okay, it's not overly scary. What's scary about a blue circle? Okay, moving to a new home, be walking around at night,
In the woods, you see
and you happen to see your neighbor's house with a blue circle. Yeah, that kind of creeped you out, huh?
Yeah. I saw that. I was like,
You're like, Mom, watch in the woods, watch in the woods, watch in the woods.
She saw that. She started freaking out. Like,
So that was kind of nice for her to have that connection. Yeah, it's just stuff like that. You know, you watch a scary movie, and then there's certain things in it that kind of stick with you. Whether it be a phrase or an actor or just a look or even a place or just a simple thing like that, and then you go on living the rest of your life and you see something that makes you think of that scary movie. It might not be the scariest movie you've ever seen. Watch in the Woods certainly isn't. Yeah. It's not as scary as Paranormal Activity.
Yeah. It's scary, but it's nothing compared to Paranormal Activity.
Yeah, but it's the kind of thing where when you start to see things that make you connect to the movie, it just makes it that much creepier. What should we talk about? Yeah, okay, that's another thing that's really funny about this movie. It's called Watcher in the Woods, and she says about how she always feels like when she's in the woods something was watching her.
Sometimes I feel like
somebody's watching me. Yeah, no, while we've been in the woods here today getting ready to film, we have like this immense feeling of somebody watching
like we're just walking.
And imagine how they're like, what the hell are those two people doing? They're like videotaping and talking about a movie and right, like it's scary. It's really scary.
Birds are freaking out.
And the birds have not stopped since we got out here, and so now that makes me think of the movie The Birds, and I'm okay. So another part of the movie is that they are at a fair, and because of how she keeps on seeing this girl in mirrors and like in her reflection and stuff, because she looks like her, she goes into the fun house with a ton of mirrors. Which is all great, it's all fun, it's all fine and dandy, until suddenly she sees hundreds of the images of the girl with her arms out, blindfold on, screaming, "Help me," but you can't hear her. And yeah, like that. Yeah. It's kind of just, because of that, I have trouble looking in mirrors, because I'm always scared that there's going to be something there, that image is going to suddenly pop up, and so I try and avoid mirror situations. I don't like looking at my reflection for long because of it. This kind of makes me think of that movie and it creeps me out.
Yeah. Okay, so there's also 3 different endings.
Yeah, so if you rent the DVD version, 3 different endings. One of them, do you remember one of them?
Okay, one of them, there's this...
Without giving the ending away.
How are we gonna do this?
There's a really, really bad animatronic puppet that's got like the shiny material, and it's god awful. So I've just got to say, if you're gonna get this, rent it on DVD, please. Don't just download it from online. Get it to where you can be able to see the 3 different endings. So then that way you can just see the terrible animatronic puppet. At least not, if not for our benefit, for her dad's benefit, because I made him watch that movie, and because we had it on DVD, we watched the alternate endings, and that basically made the movie so campy and so dumb and so funny to Bill that whenever I say Watcher in the Woods, he's like, "Oh, animatronic terrible puppet." So definitely, check it out on DVD, so then that way you can be able to see that. So the movie also stars Bette Davis. Bette Davis plays the mother of the girl who is missing, and she's in her later years, and so it's really neat if you're a big fan of Bette Davis to see her you know, in this film, see her in her later years. She's still beautiful. She still has those eyes, and it's good to see. It's nice to see. It would have been nice to have seen someone like you know, Marilyn Monroe in a later film like that, and see her have aged, and it's really nice. Or even Lucille Ball. You know, Lucille Ball had stopped acting for a while, and so it's it's nice to see her in that film. It's really good. So we'll wrap it up. Okay. So this has been Mommy and Me Critique. I'm Tracy the mom.
And I'm Audrey the daughter.
And we were talking about Watcher in the Woods. Shooting on location in the creepiest part of the woods we could find. Why did the birds all just stop? Holy crap, they've been so loud this whole time. Run.
Bye guys!
Okay.
Bye!
Oh, there you are, Audrey.
Oh, okay.
Thanks for setting up the camera.
Welcome.
Anything scary while you're out here? I can't climb
No.
over this.